Hey guys, so I am back today with a Top 5 Tuesdays. This is a collaboration I do with the Glam Dr. Mona Khan. Definitely check out her video and her channel. I will leave a link to it down below in my description box. But Mona and I have been doing this for so long that we thought that we need to kind of turn over. And so we thought we would just revisit our favorite foundations. We were texting and I said, you know what? I feel like a lot of my favorite foundations have changed. So I thought it would be really useful to let you know what my new top 5 foundations are. Mona and I have been doing this for more than a year. So I think we did foundations pretty early on. So I would say that these foundations have changed over the past year. And over this past year, I have tried a lot. I've learned a lot about foundations. I've learned a lot about myself, you know, what I like, the types that I like, the types that I really gravitate towards. And so I feel really comfortable with my list now. There are some newer foundations that I've been using that I really like. I haven't included those though, because these 5 are ones that I've been using for at least half a year. So I know they're like top 5 material. But before we jump into my top 5, I just want to mention that this eye look is coming on Thursday. So I am doing a dedicated video to the brand new Viseart Liaison 9-pan eyeshadow palette that is going to be released on Thursday, February 7th, and I do this eye look. So if you're interested, definitely subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell if you want to be notified when I do upload that video or any other video to this channel. And today is Tuesday, February 5th, which is Lunar New Year. So Happy New Year to anyone out there who celebrates. It is the year of the pig. I'm very excited. I'm going to be eating a lot of pork tonight. So let's get into my top 5 foundations. So let me mention this foundation first because it is what I am wearing on my face today. This is the ClaytoPo The Foundation. I really love this foundation. It comes in this beautiful jar. It's just gorgeous. Look at this faceted top. And so I leave it sitting out on my vanity and it's very weighty. It comes with its own little stand, its own little spatula, which is super, super over the top. But the foundation is gorgeous. It really feels like skincare, like tinted skincare. It really feels like you're just putting on a cream, a face cream. And for someone like myself, I have very, very dry skin. It is like very moisturizing. Incredibly moisturizing. It's something that I have to powder down. And a lot of you were wondering why I didn't mention this in my best of 2018 foundations video, mainly because this is a foundation that I don't even feel that comfortable wearing in the summertime. It's so hot here in Vegas that it just felt like, one day I wore it and it just felt like it was kind of melting off of my face. That's how emollient and moisturizing this foundation is. So I wear this pretty much like 10 months out of the year, but because of those 2 months that I can't wear it, this didn't make it into my best of. But this is definitely one of my favorite foundations. It's so beautiful on the skin. It is really great for my dry skin generally. It's one of those foundations that I feel like it doesn't have that much coverage, but it does a lot of perfecting. And I feel like in the past, what I've always mistaken perfecting for is just full coverage. And for me, that's not. There's something about full coverage that I find to be very off-putting. To me, it looks like I've just blanked out absolutely everything on my face, and I don't find that to be complimentary for my skin or for my features or anything. So I really like a foundation that has like a light medium kind of coverage that does a lot of blurring. And, you know, I think a lot of it probably has to do with the fact that it is so emollient. It probably plumps your skin up quite a bit because I feel like that's what I see. I feel like my skin all of a sudden looks like it doesn't have any crepiness, any fine lines or anything. It just looks really plush. I don't know how else to describe it. It just makes my skin look really plush. So that is the ClaytoPo The Foundation. It also has an SPF of 21 in there. This is number 1 on my list. And this is in no particular order. I'm not saying that this is my favorite out of all of these. All of these are my favorite. I love them all for different reasons. I couldn't rank them. So anyway, this is number 1. Number 2 is a foundation I've been talking about forever, so I won't linger too long, but this is the La Mer, the Soft Fluid Foundation. This has an SPF 20, and I have it in 2 shades. I actually pulled out Natural 12, but I generally wear Neutral 22. I have a more neutral undertone. Natural is kind of like a pinkier, cooler undertone, but I'll wear this if I'm feeling especially pale, which actually is going on right now. Anyway, the formula is beautiful. This is probably, no, I have one that has probably similar coverage, but this has like a very rock solid medium, medium to full kind of coverage. This definitely does a lot more of that blanking out that I was talking about, but it doesn't look like a mask. Again, this has a lot of skincare in there where I feel like it does so much for my skin that I don't feel like I just have like a sheet of makeup over my face. It looks gorgeous. There's just like the right amount of radiance. It's not too dewy. I don't look greasy. This is another foundation that I do have to set down with powder. Otherwise, it just stays a little bit too emollient. This foundation seems to work on a number of different skin types, which I think is pretty unique. Most foundations I feel like work for a certain category and they're not going to work for the other. So this is just wonderful. It really, if I'm going out for the night or if I really want to look like I have done my makeup for the day, this is always the foundation that I reach for. So this is number 2 on my list. So let me just get this foundation out of the way also, because this is something I've talked about quite a bit. And like the La Mer, this appeared in my top 5 foundations, the original one that I did with Mona, like a year ago. And this is the Kogan De Aqua foundation. They have since reformulated it, and I actually like this newer formulation better. And I actually like my shade a little bit better. So I am the shade 123 in this Aqua foundation. And in the previous version of this Kogan De Aqua foundation, the 123 was very warm base. It was very peachy, and I could pull it off. It was okay. You powder a little bit, bronzer, blush, or whatever, and you kind of make it work. You bring it down your neck, all that stuff. But they kind of toned back the peachiness in this new formula for the shade 123. I don't know what they did with other shades. So it's a little bit more neutral, and that works a lot better for me. So I was happy with the color shift. And also I like this foundation a little bit more because I felt like the previous one went on really, really emolliently. I don't know if that's a word, but it went on and it was very radiant, and and then it would kind of calm down. It would soak into your skin, and eventually it wasn't quite as shiny. It wasn't quite as dewy. I feel like this one right off the bat is a little bit more true to the finish that you're going to have for most of the day. Towards the end of the day, my skin definitely starts to look a little bit more dewy, a little bit more radiant. My natural oils start to shine through a little bit. But this is one of those foundations, it just looks better as the day goes on. I feel like my skin just looks healthier and healthier. And there's just something really magical about this foundation. It's also really lightweight. Like, you can't feel it when you have it on your skin. And I'm someone that's very, very sensitive to how makeup feels. I really, really don't like when I can feel makeup, whether it's foundation, powder, lipstick. Like, I don't want it to be distracting when I wear it. So that's another reason why I really love this foundation. It's really just weightless and seamless. It's just gorgeous. So that's the Kogan De Aqua foundation. And then the next 2 foundations definitely were not on my original top 5 list. And these also came into my life over this past year. I've had them for a while now, but they are probably the newest of what I have here. And let me talk about this one. This is the Sicily Tinted sunscreen. I have it in the shade 1 Natural. It has an SPF 30. It is water resistant for up to 40 minutes, it says. And this is just absolutely gorgeous. This has a pretty high coverage, but it has such a creamy texture that, again, I don't feel like I'm wearing a mask at all. I just feel like I'm putting like skincare on. It just feels really, really nourishing. And I think the first time I heard about this product was from A Little Bit Etc. And on her YouTube channel, she talks about this actually quite often. She really loves this product, but we have completely different skin types. And generally, like, I like watching her because I like her, but a lot of times when she really enjoys a product, I'm like, okay, that's not for me, because I know if it's good for her skin type, it's not going to be good for mine. But this one works for both of ours. She has more oily skin, more like normal to oily skin. And like I keep saying, I have very, very dry skin. And so I thought something with as much coverage as this was going to be, I don't know, dry looking, and fuller coverage foundations tend to be more drying. And what is also pretty miraculous about this is, I've talked to makeup artists and they always tell me how, if there's going to be any sort of SPF in a facial product, there's no way it can be full, because the SPF in it automatically dilutes the pigment. So I had a makeup artist, kind of pointing out like all of these full coverage foundations that don't have SPF. And he was like, that's why, because it usually kind of just dilutes them. And I thought, oh, okay. But this one It has SPF, and this definitely has like a medium to full kind of coverage. So this has definitely earned its spot on my top 5 list. And then last but not least, I have been just using this foundation nonstop. This is the foundation I travel with. This is the Tom Ford Traceless Foundation Stick. This is another one that I just kind of steered clear from. I thought the coverage was going to just be too much. I don't like stick foundations generally. The textures usually off for me. They're foundations that I can generally feel on my skin, which you guys know now that I don't like. But this is completely weightless. You can really kind of customize the coverage that you want. You don't have to put a lot on. It doesn't have a very thick consistency. It's definitely a little bit more slick and glidey, but it doesn't feel greasy. A lot of stick foundations that I've used in the past feel like grease paint, like they're thick and greasy all at the same time, and I just don't like them. But this one is amazing. I have it in the shade Cream, by the way, 1.5. And this foundation just continues to surprise me. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm still skeptical of stick foundations, but this one is really, really beautiful. I use like 3 swipes on each cheek, one across my forehead, one down my nose, and a little bit on my chin. I'll blend that out. I can use a sponge. I can use a brush. It blends out really evenly. And then sometimes what I'll do is I'll just take the brush and I'll brush it over the stick foundation, and then I'll kind of dab that around my eyes. And I can do that and kind of get away without any concealer. And it's just amazing. And this form, nothing beats this for traveling. It's great. You don't have to worry about it breaking and spilling or doing anything crazy in your travel bag. And it's like fast and easy. I just love it. It's really become a foundation that I depend on over this past year. All right, so those are my top 5 all-time favorite foundations. I could not live without those 5 foundations. If I were to lose any of those, I would run out immediately and repurchase those. No hesitation. So I hope you enjoy this video. Do not forget to go over to the Glam Dr. Mona Khan's channel. Definitely check out her video. She has a different skin type than I do. She has more of a normal combo skin type. So if you have that skin type, her top 5 foundations will probably work better for you. Leave any comments down below, subscribe before you leave, and I'll see you in my next video.